I played in a $2,000 doubles moneyball in hopes of securing some cash and raising my duper from a 4-5 closer to a 5-0, as well as getting Juan his first tournament experience. What is up, Fro Gang? Welcome back to another episode of Road to Pro in Pickleball. If you're new here, I post weekly documenting my pickleball journey, so if you want to follow along, make sure to subscribe. Today we have a bit of a different video. A lot of my content has revolved around high-level singles, but I know many of you have been waiting for a doubles video. I signed up for an 8.5 combined duper tournament with my friend and also boss at work, Juan. His duper rating is a 3.2, however, he has never played an official tournament and I would personally rate him a 4. And me being a 4-5 in doubles, I figured this would be a great test to see where my doubles game is, especially as a left side player, and you will also be seeing my new duper at the end of this video. The format for this tournament is a round robin where the top 3 teams from each pool would make it out to the single elimination bracket and compete for a cash prize. We have 6 teams in our pool. So here we're looking to have a strong performance to confidently make it out to the bracket. In our first game, we face Carlos, who's a 4.8, and his partner Merrick, who's a 3.7. We are playing one game to 15 as we try to start our pool play run off on a good note. Good first game for us and immediately having a win on our belt. If we can secure at least 2 more wins, that would give us a good chance to make it to the bracket. Next up, we have Tam, who is a 4.2, and Andrew, who's a 4.0 rated player. This was a very close game. I will let you enjoy this match. We let that match get a little bit too close as we were starting to spiral on our enforced errors. Thankfully, we didn't let their momentum continue and we were able to pull away. And if you enjoyed that match, I would appreciate if you dropped a like on this video, as it would help me get closer to making this a full-time job. We now have a 2-all record and have 3 games left to play. Here we're going up against Ryan, who's a 4-5, and Chase, who is a 3-7. We played very well here, and this game was not as close, but I think you can find it entertaining as I was starting to feel a bit more comfortable in my dinking and dropping game and played some of the best up to this point. We were able to secure the dub and now headed into the second to last match. This match was very weird. We played very well and I'm almost certain we all messed up the score throughout the match, and it honestly is a pain watching this back with how many times we completely miscounted the score. But we did win this match 15-10 against Isaiah, who's a 4.5, and Nam, who's a 4.2. And again, I was starting to feel very confident as that game I was active and playing very well, moving the players around and finding a lot of openings. Now we have a 4-0 record and we were guaranteed to make it into the bracket, but we wanted to seed high enough so we could skip the round of 16 and start off in the quarterfinals. And to do that, we would have to win this last match in our pool. This team we play here was probably the best team we faced up to this point, and this was a very solid match from both us and the opposing team. I will let you watch this game fully before we head straight into the single elimination bracket. That was a nail biter all the way to the end, and it felt good to win it. Now we head to the bracket where we received a bye and in the quarters faced the best team at the tournament. We got a bit unlucky with our draw, but you are very lucky if you made it this far into the video because I want to invite you to my free Discord server. Here you'll find like-minded pickleball heads that want to share their journey or just talk about all things pickleball. I plan on having a section where I will share my personal tips and much more here. I will leave a link in a pinned comment down below for you to join, and make sure to say hi when you do join the server. In the quarterfinals, we faced Jonathan, who's a 4.1, and Joe, who is a 4.5. I was contemplating on not showing this match because, if I'm being honest, this team was playing incredibly well and we were a little bit out of it. But I want to be transparent and show you guys the losses as well as the wins. And after this match, I will talk to you guys about what I think Juan and I could have done better and what I personally could improve on moving forward with my doubles game, as well as my upcoming plans for the coming videos. See you guys after this game. Sadly, we were not able to take this one or come even close. Frankly, we made a lot of enforced errors. I know Juan wasn't happy with how he played, but I think for someone playing their first tournament and being thrown into a money ball off the bat is a lot of pressure, and I was personally proud of how he played overall. He's going to be working on his rolls and flicks, and I would say his serve is honestly his strength, but he may want to consider slowing it down. I did tell him throughout this tournament to not be afraid to be aggressive on the serve at the beginning or if we had a big lead. I think that I should have said to not be aggressive at the beginning so we can capitalize on early points. On the other hand, I am not perfect and had my fair share of errors throughout the tournament. As someone who plays the left side most often, I need to learn to overstep the middle and communicate better when I do so. I think my dinks and drops have gotten better overall, but I need some work on my footwork at the kitchen and staying steady when there is a speed up and I have to get into a fast hands battle. This comes from my 20 years of tennis, and it's going to be a hard habit to break, but definitely one that is needed to be more steady and win those fast hand battles. My duper, jumped from a 4.5 to a 4.6, and Juan went from a 3.2 to a 3.7, so I would consider this tournament to be successful. If you made it this far into the video, comment the word Sparkers so I know that you're a real one, and make sure to check out the links in the pinned comment if you want 10% off on Carbon or want to purchase my digital singles playbook. Thank you so much for watching. Fro out.